Blackpink's Rosé reveals she was in a toxic relationship and no one ever knew. BABYMONSTER's Ahyeon, infamously accused of overdancing, now accused of underdancing. StayC Yoon apparently won't let people clap. Riize Sohee's extreme facial molds and so much more in today's episode of Totally Legit K-pop News with me, Angelina. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. For everyone who joined my live stream this morning, just forget about it. Forget it, it didn't happen. Starting, of course, with Blackpink's Rosé, who recently did an interview with Paper magazine, where she reveals that she was in a couple of relationships. Now, is it surprising that a girl in her 20s, as she's about to mention in her quote, that a girl in her 20s would be in a couple of relationships? Absolutely not. Is it still nevertheless K-pop shocking? Absolutely. Because of course K-pop idols very rarely ever date openly. And we all, well, most of us, a lot of us have this understanding that of course they're dating in private. So whenever they do mention to us that they have had relationships in the past, it's quite K-pop shocking. But anyways, this is what she said in the magazine. I think I'm grateful enough to have gone through a few relationships, you know, like a normal girl in her 20s. I do want people to understand that I'm not much different from your average girlfriend or 23-year-old girl. I'm probably very relatable if you listen to my songs, and if anyone's been in that kind of relationship. It doesn't even have to be about a boyfriend, just any type of toxic relationship. So not only has she revealed that she's been in a couple relationships, again, not surprising, right? It's quite normal. K-pop shocking, but normal. But she's also alluding to this type of toxic relationship, which a lot of fans are saying, you know, if I catch that person, you know, a lot of people also assuming, guessing, making all these theories about who she might be talking about actually. But first, let's talk about how netizens are reacting to this, because of course, as I mentioned, you know, dating in the K-pop industry is quite hush-hush. Of course it happens, but we don't really talk about it all that much for good reason. I mean, we all remember what happened to Karina when it was revealed that she was dating. You know, fans don't tend to take it very well. So from Reddit, it's interesting that she admits to being involved in a few relationships. I mean, she's 27 years old, it's normal, but it's interesting that she pulled this off while being under the microscope the way that she is. I'm glad to hear that she's able to have a life outside of the eyes of the fans, media, K-nets that seem to report on every move she makes. So of course, a lot of people being like, how did she manage to do that? Like, to have such a private life, like how do you manage that when everything you do is under a microscope, like this comment says? Rosé actually casually dropping that she's been in relationships like one would expect a person in their 20s to experience is something I was not expecting, but I love the honesty and vulnerability. And I think that's what will make this album even more special, knowing that it's so damn personal and true to her. Obviously, I'm sure like 85% of idols have also dated, but just to so casually mention it is something that most would never do given the industry. But I guess looking back at it, BP is so interesting because they are both open and not open about relationships. Like, they will never outright say if true, but also won't deny unless it's actually false. Tainy hand holding, Lisa X Freddy basically confirmed but never officially confirmed. Jisoo confirmed with the actor boyfriend at one point. Now Rosie mentioning her past relationships. Good for them, honestly. Idols should be able to live life like normal people and experience love too on their own terms. Here are some responses from Twitter. Rosé being in a relationship and never getting caught throughout her decade-old career. Rosé casually talking about going out in her 20s, discussing toxic relationships. We're definitely in a post-YG era because Rosé and the rest of the girls are more open and honest than ever. Rosé continuing to break standards in K-pop. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a K-pop idol from a big group ever be this honest about their dating life, because dating is perceived as a scandal in South Korea. Normalize dating in K-pop, please. So of course, because she mentioned this, fans have been digging deep into the past, wondering who it is, and some even finding a specific moment from 2019 where they believe that's when her heart may have been broken. I seriously think it took place in 2019. Remember when she randomly broke down crying in Canada performing You and I? She also said she wrote Gone that year. So I found the video of her crying in 2019. Here it is. Such a beautiful song. I mean, not to be that type of, you know, that type of person that's like, well, maybe she's not talking about like relationships, but like, you know, something, you know, not to be like that type of person, but maybe she's crying because the song is so beautiful. There we go. 23 years old. So our theory about 2019 Rosé being hurt and broken is real. On April 27th, 2019, Rosé cried during her solo performance in Hamilton, and 2 years later, it was revealed that she wrote Gone on that same year. Oh, when I catch that person. That person might just very well be Suzy. So everyone and their mothers have been bringing up Suzy. Is she a former Miss A member? Miss A member? Actress Suzy. When two idols are accused of dating, there's always like, they posted this and this on the same day, they wore the same thing, this and that. So Suzy, we all remember the Rosé and Suzy dating rumors. So everyone is jokingly saying that it was actually Suzy. She's talking about Suzy. The infamous like airplane pictures posted on the same date. So of course that ship is being revived in 2024. And then people are also bringing up other idols, of course, other people. I came across this tweet. Everyone on their timeline either blaming Suzy, Taehyun, or Eunwoo. I'm seeing all these people getting dragged. I think more so in a funny way. I don't think anyone's actually hating on them, but it is the internet. I wouldn't be surprised. But mostly just people really happy that she's being open and vulnerable. And that's exactly how she's describing this album, especially with the name Rosie, which is a name that she allows her close friends and family to call her. And you know, she's even said in interviews that like, if you know like 90% of the lyrics, then you can call me Rosie too. But that's not it, because she's also touched on hate comments and her obsession with hate comments and wanting to feel loved, and a lot of people are discussing that as well. Rosé admits she has a bad habit of doom scrolling late into the night, which will sometimes lead her down rabbit holes of bad comments that's just going to get in my head. One song on the record was written after such a stint. I realized how vulnerable and addicted I was to this online world, and that craving for feeling like I wanted to be loved and understood, she says of the impetus behind the track. I hated that about myself. She decided she'd write a song that's so disgustingly vulnerable and honest that people learn that I'm a person that goes through these emotions, and I hated that about myself. If anything, it's something I want to cover up. Even in interviews, I'm like, nothing really phases me, but it does. Every word, every comment crushes me. So the commentary I've been seeing about this is really that, idols do see the hate comments about themselves, and it really does affect them. But with all that said, of course, let me know what you think of this, surprising, unsurprising revelation that she's been in relationships before. Like, again, like, it's not surprising, but it's K-pop shocking. Like, if you heard that a 23-year-old was dating someone, you wouldn't be like surprised. But like in this K-pop context where it is like highly controversial to date, it's interesting, right? It's interesting. And then of course the hate comments as well. I think a lot of people are under the impression that idols don't read hate comments, that they should be protected from that they should just not be aware of what's going on. But that's not always the case, clearly, and it's very hard to be unaffected by that stuff. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Moving on to our poor Ahyeon of BABYMONSTER, who is now being accused of underdancing after literally we made so many videos about people complaining that she was overdancing, that in her performances with her group, she was quote unquote doing too much, that her movements were too sharp, that she was overshadowing her fellow members. Let's actually take a look at an example of this. So here's an example that people brought up often, that she was overdancing. Like, you could see the difference between her movements and her fellow member movements, and she just stood out too much. Like, some people would say that it's not necessarily the issue of overdancing, but that not everyone was overdancing at the same level that she was, and it just caused like this imbalance. It was a whole thing, we all remember, right? And actually, her being accused of underdancing, this isn't the first time we're talking about this. We talked about this before, that after she was accused of overdancing, we started seeing her quote unquote underdancing. But then let's just stick to the subject here, okay? So this new underdancing accusation stems from BABYMONSTER's drip performance video. So let's take a look here. I'ma eat that lunch. Let's not get a copyright claim today, but her part is about to come up. And we can see like she's doing the moves without as much enthusiasm as you would expect, right? Not that you would expect. I mean, personally, I feel like she changes it up every once in a while. She's not only an over dancer. She's like, she switches it up depending on the thing. But we also have this clip of YG in the past, asking her to tone down at least her facial expressions, if I remember correctly. I mean, poor girl, she just has everyone left, right, and center telling her to tone it down, tone it up. What's that word? So let's see the netizen reactions to this, because of course on one hand you have people saying like, no, she's doing good, like this subdued version of her is amazing, and other people really missing that over dancing Ahyeon. So this post is titled, "Please do something about Ahyeon's dancing. What is this?" And then we see a gif from the drip performance video. The foreign Akes were saying how her dancing was too excessive before, so ever since then she started to dance so weakly like this. Please, we liked her excessive dancing, so please go back. Even the international fans, who usually only say positive things, are now indirectly supporting Ahyeon in the comments, telling her to stay strong. So here's some comments. "I didn't think of anything when I watched the video though. She's way better now. Ahyeon must be thinking, what am I supposed to do in this situation? Ahyeon must be effing dumbfounded. People make a fuss when she's working hard and make a fuss again when she's responding to the feedback. Seems like she's changed her dancing style because people made a fuss about her being too over the top until a few months ago. But saying this might stress Ahyeon too, it's not bad now that she changed it, so who cares? For real, I'm disappointed at how much less powerful she is now. I just hope she danced like before. It's not as satisfying to watch now that Ahyeon's unique dance lines are gone." Here's some international stan comments. "Guys, give this girl a break. Whenever a girl group debuts, they get someone to criticize everything. I get that this seems very nitpicky, but she really just needs to find a balance or match her members' energy. Every choreo requires a different amount of energy. The best thing she could do is follow her members. It looks fine. I think dancing slightly calmer at center looks great in general, makes you focus on them, and allows artists to perform live better. There is a middle ground and she needs to find it. Damn, this girl just cannot win." So with all that said, of course, let me know your thoughts. Are you team underdancing Ahyeon, or team overdancing Ahyeon, or team middle ground Ahyeon? Let me know. I personally am team overdancing, and that's me, and you can't change my mind, and you won't change my mind. Thank you very much. You're gonna try anyways. I know. Moving on to StayC Yoon, who apparently will not let people clap. Girly Pop has something against clapping. She is anti-clapping. It's a whole thing. So anyway, she's on the new survival show Starlight Boys. Obviously not as a contestant, as a judge, and it seems people thought she was being too harsh. So before we get into the specific backlash, let's dissect this video. So basically these trainees are performing and it's not that great, and all the judges feel the same way. Let's take a look here. I mean, it starts off, they're out of sync, and I guess they're not singing the ad-lib parts from the beginning of the song. I don't personally know the song, so I don't know. Let's move forward to the singing. Yeah, so it's not the best we've ever seen, right? Like, and it's a TV show, and of course you would assume that the judges are going to criticize them, and the judges do. And again, all the judges feel the same way. All the judges are quite critical of this, but this part in particular is what some fans are really upset about, because the other trainees start clapping for the group, and then Yoon turns to them and is like, "Why are you clapping?" So she says that. Now keep in mind, all the other judges are also talking shit about this performance. Is this a club? Kids, are you in a club? This is so pathetic. Kwon B even says the basics are really lacking. But Yoon seems to be the only one who got backlash for saying, why are you clapping? With people being like, damn, like you can't even clap. Like, what does she have against clapping? Like, it's wild that she doesn't want people to clap for them. So because of this, she was receiving a lot of hate on her Instagram page. Bro, you're like barely experienced. Why are you judging? Some contestants have more experience than you. What's wrong with applauding your peers? You are the worst mentor ever. Disappointed in you. Disappointed in you at Yoon_NXXY. I really want to know where you get the effing audacity from, Yoon. I thought you would be better than the other mentors, but it turns out you're all the same. So people started seeing the backlash that she was receiving. So other netizens started to come to her defense. Wow, what was that stage? LOL. In a quick shot, one trainee was laughing like it was funny, but look at that. Is that something to clap for? I don't understand why eye roaches always get mad at such strange things. Damn, female idols are always easy targets. It's not like Yoon said anything she shouldn't have. Isn't it pathetic to throw a fit and spam a small girl group's Instagram just because a trainee you like got criticized? I wondered how bad they were, and now I see. Are they really going to debut with a performance worse than a school's club? Good luck with that. It's understandable to be surprised at first, but watching the stage, it seems like Yoon was genuinely curious and just asking. Criticizing her for that is going too far. So of course, K-netizens are like, oh my god, the eye roaches are at it again. But then the eye roaches were also defending her too. Some of y'all didn't watch the whole thing and it shows. Here's the full clip of the performance because I'm tired of y'all shitting on Yoon without knowing the full context. You all are hypocrites. Nothing Yoon has ever done to be portrayed this way ever justifies sending threats and calling her an You are all crying over some scripted bullshit program, but turn around and do the very thing you claim to hate. F you all. The way I know that if Yoon didn't say anything, there would probably be a tweet with 20+ K likes floating around on K-pop Twitter saying, why are they clapping? Y'all just love to hate women. So then her Instagram, which was previously flooded with those hate comments, is now flooded with a lot of love. So let's take a look at the comments. I want to see the comments. What's going... Just take my word for it because it's not showing up here. The comments, you know how people cleanse things? It's just like positive comments, things that they like about Yoon and all that jazz. So then I guess maybe this is the discussion segment of the video because I came across the wildest post. Maybe it's not really the wildest post. It's not even K-pop shocking, to be honest. It's just wild in my opinion. So it's a post talking about Sohee's face moles. And moles in K-pop, people tend to love moles on idols. Like it becomes like a focal point of an idol's face. Like everyone loves Karina's chin mole. Everybody, like, name an idol with moles on their face and fans tend to absolutely love those moles. And I've seen a lot of people talk about Sohee's face moles. Like they love them. People have an obsession with moles, and who am I to judge? I have an obsession with people's obsession about K-pop moles. Maybe to the point that there would be a whole podcast episode about it. We need to bring the podcast back. I know. But let me read to you what this person wrote about Sohee's face moles, okay? So the post is titled, Sohee isn't removing his facial moles, question mark? It gets worse, okay? Seems like his moles are his charming point, but he has so many of them that it looks like he hasn't washed his face properly. Even if someone has a lot of moles, they should have them in moderation. What in the world? This was so wild to me because it's like, I want to say it's something that you can't control, but you can. You can get moles removed, but it's also like, what? I feel like this way of thinking was so much more common in second gen. When the topic of moles gets brought up, I often bring this up, how idols often would remove their moles. And I had this theory that there was like an amount of moles that was acceptable on the face. So if idols had too many moles, they would get them removed or just remove all of them. And now with this way of thinking, I'm like, oh, maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. Like there's a face to mole ratio that's acceptable in K-pop, or like from at least the company standpoint, that's why they made all their idols remove their moles, and now they're not really making all the idols remove their moles so much these days, even though they're still removing some moles. Does that make any sense? Anyways, I just thought that was so funny. They should have them in moderation. What? I thought that was so funny. In moderation. Like, I don't know, guys, but here are some comments. His skin is good, so why should he? The fans like them, so why should he? Crazy, that's his charm. What's there to remove? Screw off. Seriously, derogatory term for Korean girls are so good at extracting anything positive from men. Seriously, he can't. He needs to keep his moles. You non-fan ajashi should screw off. Don't spend time hating on people you don't like. Go fangirl on people you like instead. I didn't expect anything less from these comments. Let's see what international fans are saying about this. I always find moles so pretty and charming. It's like you have your own little constellation in your body. It's so cute. Sometimes I make my moles more noticeable with makeup because I think it looks cute. Even if someone has a lot of moles, they should have them in moderation. This gotta be rage bait. Their weird ass hatred for moles is something I will never understand. It's a mole, not a pimple or scar, even at that. So I thought that was an interesting little thing to talk about today. Let's move on to K-pop shenanigans, which are basically fun little things that have happened in K-pop recently and or quick news. So we have Miss Rosé, who is going to appear on Hot Ones. I'm so excited. I have something in my eye. I love Hot Ones. Kevin, you want to join us, Kevin? Come here, Kevin. My live stream got interrupted by very rude lag, so Kevin's here to make us all feel better about that. So I'm excited. I love Hot Ones. I don't know how many times I said that already. It's such a fun show. I'm genuinely convinced that I'd be so good at Hot Ones. New Jeans, CLJ Park, and Gigi Hadid appear in a photograph together. That's K-pop shenanigans, right? JYP seemingly revealed the name for their new boy group, Kickflip. Interesting. Kickflip. What do you think of Kickflip? And then the Korea Communication Standards Commission have given a caution legal sanction against SBS for their New Jeans stage. I don't know if you guys remember, New Jeans did a stage on Inkigayo where they had their iPhones, and then people were complaining because that's basically, you know, promoting something. Usually on music stages, you have to, you know, block out any brand names that you see. So for them to blatantly have their iPhones out during that stage, people took issue with it. You know, they filed complaints. They filed complaints, the whole shebang, because New Jeans are sponsored by iPhone. Now, SBS is not sponsored by iPhone, so it's like a separate whole thing. But this is what Park Sung-hoon had to say. Usually when an agency curates an artist's performance as complete work, we respect it and try not to intervene as much as possible. At the time, New Jeans said they would use the music video concept for the production, so we accepted it without any problems, but we did not realize that the music video was being used as an advertisement. What are you doing? He's just staring at me. So I thought that was interesting because we covered that before. Do you remember? What's wrong with you, Mr. Kevin? This might be the shortest news video I've ever done. I tried to do like a live stream this morning. It did not work. Nothing was working in my favor this morning. So that is basically it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. As for me, I'm gonna get going, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye.